This program is brought to you by realestate.com.au, Australia's #1 address in property. With more properties for sale than anywhere else, we make it easier.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening in the property market this weekend. There are 2,272 auctions scheduled this week. That's up 63% year on year. There'll be 617 auctions in Sydney with another 177 around New South Wales. Melbourne will have 826 auctions with another 44 in regional Victoria. Brisbane has 178 auctions scheduled and another 151 around Queensland. There'll be 169 auctions in Adelaide with just 6 across the rest of South Australia. And Canberra has 83 auctions scheduled. Looking at the most viewed properties on realestate.com.au going to auction this weekend, and for the first time in months, a property in Sydney has topped the list. 6 Everett Place, Strathfield South, is actually 2 homes with 2 separate street frontages. There's a 4-bedroom house on Everett Place and a 2-bedder on Dean Street. Next on the list is 19 Taylors Run Road in Kapunda, South Australia. It's about 90 kilometres north of Adelaide. This property is a 4-bedroom cottage sitting on about 4 acres of landscaped land. Next up is 34 Pamela Street, Mount Waverley. That's a suburb in Melbourne. This 4-bedroom home's been placed on the market for the first time in about 50 years. It has a price guide of $1 to $1.1 million. We have another property in Sydney on the list, 21B Palace Road, Baulkham Hills. It's a 4-bedder with 2 bathrooms and a double lock-up garage. The price there is about $1.25 million. And last on the list, yet another Sydney property. It's 79 Bridge Road in Glebe. This terrace house has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, sits on about 108 square metres, and the price guide there is about $1.5 million. Now for our feature property. This place is for nature lovers who want sweeping bushland views. The property is dubbed the Far Away Treehouse and consists of 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms sitting on about 2,200 square metres. The address is 5 Approach Road, Boyer in Western Australia, which is on the eastern outskirts of Perth. As you can see from the pics, this house is all about its bushland setting and the amazing views from virtually every window in the home. The home itself has 4 levels. The main bedroom's on the 3rd floor, which is decked out with an ensuite, huge shower and double vanity. There's a giant kitchen area, and the ground floor features a huge lounge room with built-in bookcase and electric log fire, which can also be turned into an open fireplace. There's also double doors out to the front deck and views out towards the Darling Scarp. The garden includes multiple entertaining areas, a swimming pool, vegetable patch and some fruit trees. The price offers over $989,000. Well, let's bring in Anne Flaherty here, the Economist with REA Group. And thanks for coming on the show today. About 2,300 auctions this weekend. Is that a lot for this time of the year?
It is a lot for this time of the year. I mean, those year-on-year increases aren't particularly surprising given we were in lockdown or heading into lockdown around Australia last year. But it is still more than we usually see in winter.
And how about the auction clearance rates at the moment? What's really been keeping them down at around that 50% level?
Absolutely cooling. We've seen prices peak earlier in the year and they've now decreased slightly since then. The fact that we do have a higher amount of properties for sale relative to the number of buyers compared to what we were seeing, say, last year, is also causing buyers to have a little bit more time. You know, we're seeing properties sell a little bit slower than they were, and that's also pulling clearance rates down.
And that feature property that we just featured a second ago, that's actually not going to auction. They're just taking offers from interested parties. So is that another way now that people are starting to sell their homes? Is that becoming more common than taking a property to auction?
It's interesting, quite a lot of the agents that I talk to are actually changing their selling strategies and advising potentially going through private sale, moving away from auctions. So if we think about clearance rates at the end of last year, they were around 80%. They're now hovering at about 50%. So the argument of going to auction, there's more to think about now than there was, say, 6 months ago.
This week, inflation jumped to a 21-year high. Reserve Bank expected to raise interest rates again. So how are these economic events going to play out for the property market?
Yeah, well, the impact on the property market is going to be substantial. Higher interest rates have already started to pull pricing down, and the RBA have made it very clear that they're going to go early and hard on interest rates. So, the expectation is that we're going to see at least another 50 basis point rise next week. That's going to make the cost of borrowing more expensive, and that is very likely to lead to even more softening in prices over the coming months.
Yeah, and what is PropTrack predicting for property price falls for Australia?
Yeah, well, we think that price falls will probably be in the range of that sort of 5 to 10%. It's going to vary significantly by market though. So Melbourne and Sydney are likely to see the largest price declines. One of the reasons for that is that they are more expensive markets and the average loan sizes are higher there. On the flip side, more affordable markets like Adelaide and Perth are likely to be a little bit more resilient, though of course higher interest rates will impact all markets.
Well, Anne Flaherty, Economist at REA Group, thank you for coming on the program today.